the terrifying true nature of a woman, the husband's suspicions and the wife's wisdom. This story revolves around a man who calls himself a Brahmin and his young wife, intersecting love and trust, wit and strategy. Their relationship, through misunderstandings and secrets, leaves a profound lesson in the hearts of people. At the end of the story, the term woman's cunning is used, and the wife's actions are morally questioned. This raises themes related to ethical issues and moral judgments. Overall, this story explores the complexity of human relationships, trust and betrayal, moral and ethical issues, and the power of faith, among various themes. Long ago, in a certain town, there was a Brahmin who had a young wife. This Brahmin was very jealous, so he kept his wife locked up in the house, not allowing her to meet anyone. However, the wife had a secret chamber built underground with the help of a maid, where she would secretly meet with a young craftsman. In other words, it was an affair. One day, the Brahmin heard rumors about this.
What did you say? My wife is betraying me. Such a thing is unforgivable.
Furious to the point of madness, he called his wife and confronted her.
Yo, you've been doing something outrageous behind my back, haven't you? I know about it. Things like that, this and that. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Confess it.
No, my dear. What are you talking about? You must be misunderstanding something. I have not been unfaithful. You are the one who blindly believes what others say. How could you say such vile things? That's terrible.
The young wife calmly retorted,
If you refuse to confess no matter what, then there's no helping it. I will take you to the sacred tree.
The Brahmin said. In that town there was a miraculously efficacious sacred tree. It was said that if a cheating wife stood in front of it, no matter how much she tried to hide it, the leaves of the sacred tree would begin to rustle, and she would end up confessing everything herself. When the furious Brahmin spitefully mentioned the sacred tree, the young wife answered meekly, "Indeed."
Yes, yes, if that will satisfy you, then by all means, please, whenever you wish.
All right. I will seclude myself in the temple for 7 days to purify myself. On the morning of the 8th day, you will stand before the sacred tree with me,
the Brahmin said. Thus, as the Brahmin secluded himself in the temple, the young wife secretly called the young man and spoke to him.
You don't have to worry about anything. The foolish husband is purifying himself in the temple, as if he has nothing but money for his merit. I just need to be with you forever. I will use my husband's money to take care of everything for you, so don't worry. For that, I need you to play a part. I will lure him to the bustling market street. Then, you pretend to be a madman, hug me, and pull me down, please. Of course, act as if it's the first time you've met me,
she said. After 7 days of devout practice, the Brahmin was finally ready to take his wife out. Then his wife said,
Come to think of it, I've never been to the market street. I've heard it's lined with lots of shops and is very bustling. Dear, let's go through the market street. I've always been cooped up at home, so I want to go out with you. Just walking with you makes me happy,
she suggested. Though he thought it would be a detour, the kind-hearted Brahmin agreed to fulfill his wife's wish. As they approached the market street, it was, as usual, crowded with shoppers and merchants. As the Brahmin and his young wife made their way through the crowd, as planned, the wife's lover, a young man with his hair disheveled, appeared from among the people, pretending to be mad. The young man rushed toward the young wife with a strange cry, suddenly hugged her, and pulled her to the ground. The wife screamed in terror, writhing and struggling to escape, but the young man held on tightly and did not let go. People looked on from a distance at the young man and wife embracing, but since the man appeared to be a pervert, they were unsure of what he might do, and no one attempted to help. The Brahmin was just bewildered. Finally escaping from the young man, the wife said to her husband,
"How can you not care that I'm going through such an ordeal?"
That guy is crazy. If he were sane, I intended to confront him fairly, one-on-one,
the Brahmin said.
But dealing with such a madman is pointless. Let me make it clear. It's not because I was scared. Now let's forget about this and hurry to the sacred tree.
Unaware of his wife's deceit, the Brahmin, speaking thus, started to lead his wife away. Before long, the Brahmin stood in front of the sacred tree, with his wife by his side. Then, bowing deeply, he said,
My wife insists that she has never been held by any man other than myself. Please listen to what my wife claims, and if she is lying, please judge her accordingly.
The Brahmin prayed to the sacred tree. The wife also bowed deeply and said to the sacred tree,
"I assure you, other than the man who hugged me in the crowd on the market street earlier, I have never been held by any man other than my husband. Please, sacred tree, if I am lying, inflict upon me your divine punishment."
Indeed, there was no lie in the young wife's words. Therefore, the sacred tree did not even rustle its leaves, but simply stood in front of the Brahmin couple. Thus, the young wife managed to escape her predicament, but the kind-hearted Brahmin, unable to see through her, stood silently in front of the sacred tree, too ashamed to raise his face ever again. This cunning and deceitful act of a woman easily fooling her husband is what the ancients called a woman's cunning, and it is indeed as the words describe. This is said to be the true nature of a woman. This story offers the following lessons to men in particular. 1. Excessive jealousy leads to ruin. The story begins by depicting the Brahmin's deep jealousy, which ultimately leads to his wife's dishonesty. The story suggests that excessive jealousy and possessiveness can have the opposite effect in relationships with women. 2. The importance of trust. The story emphasizes how crucial trust is in relationships between men and women. If the Brahmin had trusted his wife, she might have acted differently. 3. Not being deceived by appearances. The conclusion of the story shows the wife deceiving her husband with clever words and acting, teaching the importance of not being fooled by superficial words or actions, but instead discerning the truth. 4. Reflecting on one's actions. The story indirectly suggests that the Brahmin needed to reflect on his behavior and reconsider how he treated his wife. Understanding the impact of one's actions and attitudes on others is crucial. 5. Making calm judgments without being swayed by emotions. The Brahmin's emotional actions, driven by jealousy, ultimately work to his disadvantage. The story highlights the importance of not being swayed by emotions and making calm decisions. This story teaches men how to build trust in relationships with women, control emotions, and the importance of fair assessment of the partner. On the other hand, the story offers the following lessons to women. 1. Wit and independence. The wife skillfully manages her situation and overcomes a difficult predicament, suggesting the importance for women to understand their circumstances and deal with them in a clever way. Of course, the situation in the story is not ethically right. 2. The importance of communication. The story shows that the lack of direct communication with the husband exacerbates the problem, emphasizing the importance of honest dialogue and mutual understanding without lying. 3. Moral and ethical judgment. While the wife's actions may be effective in the short term, they raise questions from a moral and ethical standpoint. The story makes women think about the ethical aspects of their actions and their consequences. 4. Transparency in relationships between men and women. Although the wife's deception is temporarily successful, the story suggests that transparency and sincerity are important in long-term relationships. Although the story concludes with the wife escaping her predicament, there will surely be repercussions for her actions in the long run. 5. Self-worth and dignity. In response to the Brahmin's domineering attitude, the wife acts to protect her own value and dignity. The importance of understanding one's worth and maintaining dignity is shown to women. However, the fact that this was done through infidelity is problematic. A different action to protect dignity might have presented a different image of women. Through this story, women are taught the importance of wisely managing their circumstances, making moral judgments, maintaining transparency in the marital relationship, and the significance of protecting their dignity and value.